everyone.
Hello, everyone.
All
4 followers.
all 4 of you wonderful, amazing, beautiful. I'm one of them.
I'm one of them, too. So hello to our 2 other followers. How are you? Our other fans.
How are you guys doing? We could have a biggest fan off one of these days. We are Dominique. I'm Dominique.
And I'm Dana.
And collectively,
we're
figuring it out.
I'd like to thank everyone who listened to our podcast last time. All 41 listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the same 4 people who listened to it over and over again to get us to the accumulative,
yeah.
41.
Yeah. Keep in mind we are 2 of those followers, so that is probably an extremely accurate statement.
Roughly, yes. But thank you so much for supporting it, and I've gotten a lot of love from people around me saying that they're very proud of me, and I'm very proud of myself, and it's lovely to hear that everyone is pleased with what's happening here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. I mean, you guys are taking time out of your day to listen to us blab into microphones for a bit, and that just honestly means the world to both of us. We were just talking about how already, even into like episode 2,
it's very therapeutic.
It is extremely therapeutic, and just as a result of doing this podcast, we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it gives me something to creatively look forward to at least twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And even more so, like, editing it and, like, posting it and, like, handling it and creating it myself. It's literally just like a little clay baby that I'm making.
Yeah, absolutely. And to just, to open up the interwebs, to go to our SoundCloud and to see 41 people have listened to us.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Just thank you.
Yeah.
From the hearts of our bottom.
So thank you. And we might as well get into it. So Dominique, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing.
You're doing?
I am constantly doing. My day was interesting.
Yeah.
To say the very least. I mean, I did, however, have a very interesting exchange with a gas attendant.
Did you?
I did. I was coming back from my brother's to come over here.
Mm-hmm.
And
was it a Shell?
I don't know what it was.
Oh.
It was one of those off-brand gas stations.
Yeah.
The gas station that's like Tiger Mart, and it's like an off-brand Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Exxon, but like not really.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of those. And my brother lives in like a little beach town, so they have like 2 gas pumps.
Yeah.
So my gas attendant, he takes my money. He's kind of just like hanging outside my car, and he's like, "How are you doing today?" And I'm like, "I'm doing pretty good. How are you?"
Yeah.
And he kind of looks at me for a moment, and he's like, "I work at a gas station. How do you think I am?"
Oh, fuck.
And it took the turn for the best. And I was like, "Well, I would assume you're doing splendid." And he was like, "You're absolutely right. The only thing that would make this day better is a gun and a bullet to my head."
What?
So I thought that then would be a good time to get personal with the man. So
this happened today, like an hour ago?
Yes.
What the fuck, Dominique?
I wanted to save all of this goodness for right here, right now.
Can I pause for a second and just give a nice disclaimer to the listeners? Dominique's life is a series of just misfortunate events.
It's just a constant stream of what the fuckery.
Yes, exactly.
At any given moment.
Exactly. And I think we mentioned this in the last episode briefly.
Briefly, but just so y'all know, I'm a shit magnet. I decided to get personal with the man.
Okay.
because his name tag is kind of flipped over because the shirt's loose, you know.
Okay.
So I can't see his name. So I ask him, what's your name? And he goes, Dave.
Okay, Dave.
And he flips up his name tag, and I was like, oh, hey, Dave, I'm Dominique. I don't have a name tag. And he's like, well, I could go make you one. And I was like, Dave, honestly, that'd be real great if you could do that for me.
I would be flattered if someone made me a name tag randomly.
I thought he was about to run back in the gas station and do it, but I don't know. People can say anything nowadays.
I would have tipped him.
But he goes, my name's Dave, except for when I'm running from the cops, because then I turn it upside down, and then I'm Evad.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, Evad, man, I wish I had a name tag. And he was like, it's not good for when you're running away from the cops. And I was like, you know what, you're right. You're real right, Evad. He was like, well, what do you got planned for tonight? So I told him that I was coming here so that we could record our podcast.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, podcast? What is that? And I'm like, Evad, you do not know of podcasts and what they are.
Wonderful world.
So I tried to get on his level a little bit, and I was like, it's kind of like a radio show. Talking to microphones, it's all audio, nothing visual. He was like, oh, okay. I asked him if he was fucking with me at first, because I was like, come on, Evad, you know what a goddamn podcast is.
Yeah, right? How old was he, would you say?
If I had to guess, I'd say anywhere between late 40s and early 60s.
Okay. Then yeah, he might not know what a podcast is, but he seems pretty hip.
My dad listens to podcasts, and it's very funny that you said that he seemed hip, because from there, once I told him, I gave him the lowdown on casts and potting them.
Yes.
He was then inclined to ask me, what, do you guys smoke a bunch of weed?
Oh.
Before you record this? And I was like, no, we're professionals.
Yeah.
We're goddamn professionals. We don't use performance-enhancing drugs.
The devil's lettuce is the devil's property, baby.
Oh yeah, you can't be messing with that. Yeah, he went on to tell me how he could get medical shit and that he would normally pick up quarters, and
what?
I left Evad with him sending me off with the final statement of, hey, if you're ever down again, come around. We can flip some name tags and smoke some doobies.
Oh my god. That is an entire episode of Broad City. That whole exchange is
I always say, somewhere out there, there is a live studio audience going wild at my life.
Yeah. It's just in another dimension,
oh yeah,
they're just yes, bitch,
mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm so proud of you, woohoo!
That fucking that Fairly Odd Parents episode. Do you remember the Fairly Odd Parents episode where it's discovered that Timmy's life has been getting broadcasted to Fairy World basically, and it's the number one.
Oh my god, very Truman Show.
Exactly like the Truman.
Childhood Truman Show.
Exactly. Yeah, that really...
I feel everyone has that mindset at some point.
At some point, you're like, who's watching me?
Yeah.
Where are the hidden cameras?
Yeah.
Come on,
For
guys.
sure. I used to think that, my wall was, one of those, double-sided mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
And, people were just, watching me from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just this is my life. I'm being broadcasted. People know everything I'm doing right now.
At any given moment.
At any given moment.
Always watching Wazowski. Big Brother and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know how to tell the difference between a regular mirror and a two-way mirror, don't you?
Isn't it you put your finger to the glass or something like that?
Yes, if you put your finger to the glass and
it doesn't
no gap.
reflect.
If there's no gap between your actual real live fingertip and your reflective fingertip,
mm-hmm.
Two-way mirror.
Interesting.
Check your dressing rooms, folks.
Check your bathroom mirror, even.
Check all of the reflective surfaces.
You never know who's watching.
Never be too safe. Going from that existential crisis that we just spiraled y'all down.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Dana?
I'm
How
good.
you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
The Earlier in the week was a little bit rough. I felt a little bit rough, but I'm doing okay.
Good.
We had the photo shoot yesterday, finally.
Yes, we did.
Literally, the pictures are being sent, like, as we speak.
Oh, yes, I'm so excited.
I'm bursting at the seams. If you're listening to this, they're probably, like, already up on some platform, so follow us on Instagram. But, yeah, that gave me, like, a really big creative boost, and then that kind of boosted, like, my energy. But, yeah, I feel really good. We were talking about this offline, but I feel like I'm kind of just, like, in a life limbo, but it's, like, in a good place. Like, I'm at a good floating place. So I'm kind of just riding that wave for a while.
Just blissful, jello-y floating.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think I kind of started taking my time figuring it out.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You need to fucking do that.
Yeah. And this whole podcast situation is really helping my mental out.
It's fucking great.
Yeah. You're such a good therapist, Dominique.
That's fucking great. It'll be $250. See you next week.
Oh my god. It's not covered by your insurance, by the way. And there's a $50 copay.
Get well soon.
Can't.
Anything else happen this week?
Not really. Not that I know. Not that I know of.
Not that you know of.
Not that I can recall as of right now. But nothing too eventful at work.
No.
Just kids being kids.
As they will tend to do.
Yeah, they weren't, like, too terrible this week, which is, like, tight. They were, like, kind of rough, but, like, not really.
Well, they're growing up right before your very eyes.
Yeah, and sometimes they have, like, mood swings, and sometimes an entire class has mood swings.
Just one collective group mood swing. Like, that's the
yeah, they just, like, they all feed off of
day.
each other. So it's, like, if one kid gets, like, stressed out and upset, like, another kid probably feeds off of that, and, like, crying just ensues.
Oh, God. Oh.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Oh, I think I meant to say great and kind of wanted to say gross and also wanted to say God. So that was a mismatch of those three words.
Well, God bless.
God bless.
God bless. Have you ever had a childhood pet?
I've actually had several childhood pets. In my younger years.
Yeah.
I think the childhood pet that I remember the most fondly was a little hamster guy.
Okay.
That I had.
Yeah.
I got him for my 8th grade graduation. I remember freshly walking to PetSmart, cap and gown still on, going straight over to the tiny rodent section, squatting down, looking at all the cages and stuff. And the lady that worked at PetSmart was kind of talking me through it, being like, oh, these guys are like, they're right, giving me the lowdown on the hamster situation.
Yeah.
So I noticed that they're in one of the cages and on one of the plates it said that it was, I believe, a robo-dwarf hamster.
Yes.
So the name, right off the bat,
just like the freaking itty-bitty micros.
Like, bittiest
robo-dwarf.
Right off the bat, like, how, I'm just like, that sounds awesome. I want a bionic tiny hamster.
Of course. Don't we all?
So don't we all at that age. So, I was like, ooh, what that? So she told me, they're really tiny, they have like a 2 to 3 year lifespan. They're jumpers though, so be careful. And she kind of like put one of them in my hand. It was really so cute. Wasn't jumping, so I was like, oh, he likes me. I'll take this one.
He's fine.
Put him in the little box. Probably shat in the box at least 50 times on the way home. Like 50 little individual tiny robo-dwarf hamster turds like greeted me when I opened his box upon arriving back at home. Got all the good hamster shit, the cage, the wheel. I had him set the fuck up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had a sweet-ass little hamster pad going on. Like...
Just a bougie-ass hamster. What was his name?
His name was QT.
Oh my god.
Not cutie, like cutie pie.
Yes.
But
just like the classic 13-year-old emo you are a QT pie.
Kind of. Like, it was totally an acronym.
Yeah.
It's QT, the letter Q, letter T, and stood for Quentin Tarantino.
Bitch.
Yeah, Quentin was a good old boy. Used to let him roll around in his little hamster ball every morning before I went to school. Let him get his little exercise in. Oh, and this cute, adorable hamster anecdote has been interrupted by this brief, important message.
Our pictures are in.
They have arrived.
Check your email.
Check my email?
Yes.
Pause this.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're back.
Checked out the pics.
We sure did.
Done by our wonderful friend Alexa.
Sweet Alexa. You guys can follow her on Instagram at AlexaHope16.
Hope with 2 E's.
2 E's. So it's AlexaHopee 16.
She is extremely talented.
A wonderful woman.
A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman.
Knows how to work a camera. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. Dominique had a hamster named Quentin Tarantino.
I did have a hamster named Quentin Tarantino. He went by QT. He was a rambunctious little guy. As the PetSmart lady did inform me, did turn out to be true. He was a jumper.
Yes.
Very springy, to say the very least. I thought I was going to lose him a few times when I was holding him. But, yeah, they're nocturnal.
They are nocturnal.
They're very nocturnal creatures.
Yes, hamsters tend to do that.
So my hamster cage was on my bedside, my bed table, next to my bed.
Yep, I had something like that.
And he would just take his favorite hours were the hours between 1 to 4 a.m.
Yeah, my hamster, when I had her, she was like midnight to 2.
Mm-hmm. And he would just go on his little wheel, and he just do it in spurts.
Yeah.
You know, he'd go for a good 20 seconds, chill out, have a little yogurt hammy snack, go back for another 20-second burst.
Yeah.
Just on and off for hours. And it would get to the point where he would just he'd get off, and I'd be like, that was it. He's done. That was the last one.
Yeah.
Only to be followed 18 seconds later by the little squeaky noise of the hamster wheel starting up again.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrible. So I ended up passing him off to one of my cousins who had always wanted a hamster. You
just really sent them a curse.
Hand him the cage over, thinking in my head, you don't know what you're getting into, buddy.
Oh, you really want a hamster? Here's what it's like.
I think I kept him.
I had a hamster for a little bit. It was a regular size hamster.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a little blonde girl. I named her Tibby.
You named her?
I named her.
Dude, what'd you name her after?
I named her Tibby after one of the girls from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. The girl with the blue hair who befriended a little girl with cancer.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the best one.
Yeah, I had such a girl crush on her. I was just like, you're amazing. I want to be you. I want your blue hair. I want everything about you. I want those pants.
I want to wear your skin.
That's a secret that I wasn't going to tell on the podcast, but...
You have to start somewhere.
But yeah, her name was Tibby. She was a sweet girl. I was very scared of her when I first got her. Well, not very scared. I was just scared she was going to bite me, and I couldn't understand the way her brain worked. So I was scared of how frantic she was, because I was like, I'm trying not to be frantic, but you're making me frantic because you're frantic.
Yes, it's just kind of just you were bouncing off her anxieties.
Yeah, and that's basically how all of my relationships work. But yeah.
Childcare, relationships, hamsters.
Even with my dog right now, we feed off each other's anxiety. It's just, I'm get involved with me and you're hooked on anxiety. But anyway, she was super nocturnal. Mm-hmm. She would never shut up in the middle of the night. She'd be on her wheel and then would get off of her wheel and drink from her water bottle.
Ooh,
with the little metal ball. Mm-hmm. And she would do that just for hours. And then it got to the point where we moved her into the garage because none of us could take it. She was just so loud. And she would dig too. Mm-hmm. And so we moved her into the garage, and then it got too cold out, so we moved her into the basement. And in that time, we found out that she really liked to escape. And she would get out of her cage all the time. She did it 2 major times where we lost her for a very long time, and the last time that we lost her, we put her back in her cage, and like later that night, I like went down to go play with her, and she was like curled up in a ball, like buried beneath bedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, like that's weird. And she looks like kind of fatter than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's weird. And she was just like, she was still alive, but like there was just obviously something wrong. So me and my mom brought her upstairs, like we tried saving her life, and what we think happened was when she escaped,
Mm-hmm.
she jumped down
Mm-hmm.
from her cage because it was on one of those like wooden lunch tray things,
Mm-hmm.
like the foldable like
like
TV
you sit in
dinner.
front of the TV. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was like on one of those, so it was probably like 4 feet off the ground, and she jumped out of like I think the top. And so she probably like broke her leg or something, and like her body's like swelled up.
Oh Jesus! So that
something
cute little hammy, chubby cuteness was actually like post-mortem bloat.
Probably. She was still alive, but when we brought her upstairs, we wrapped her in like a heating pad, and like we tried to save her life, and my mom gave her CPR. And like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, she had a straw in her mouth, and she was like trying to blow into her lungs and like trying to get her to like get oxygen.
Little chest compressions with the pointer finger.
Yeah, and my mom even like asked me, she's like, "Do you want me to just kill her? Like I know how to stop her heart." And I was just
God. Did your mom kill your hamster?
No, she died in my hands.
Oh.
She literally like took her last breath in my hands. It was like the saddest thing ever. And I made her a sweet little like wooden box coffin. And I like wrote her name on it and like made it all pretty and cute.
Oh.
And then we buried her in the garden.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Have some Sarah McLachlan playing in the background.
Yeah, she's back there with my other with my guinea pig, Coco, who was fucking crazy. Never get a guinea pig. If any parents are listening to this, do not ever get your child a guinea pig. They're crazy.
All of them? That's just like a general like rule of thumb for all guinea pigs, you think?
I'm pretty sure, like, especially like these days with like overbreeding and all that stuff, I really think that guinea pigs are probably just like the worst animal to get. Their brains are so tiny.
Do you know how tiny a guinea pig brain like actually is? Like,
I mean, their heads are probably only like that big.
But do you think their brains are like disproportionately small to their skull?
I'm not sure.
I've never looked into it personally.
They just they have nothing there. Like my guinea pig. Okay, so I held a dead hamster. It died in my hands. But to make it worse, I kissed a dead guinea pig.
On the mouth?
No, on the head.
On the head?
Yeah.
On its dead little head?
On its dead little head. And
jeez.
I was in kindergarten. My mom got me a guinea pig when I was in kindergarten. And its name was Coco. It was white, brown, and black. Sweet little calico girl. Fucking crazy. It ate plastic. Like, in the cage, you know how they have, like, that black tray that you can pull out?
Yeah, and, like, just to, like, make it easier to clean and stuff?
Yeah, we had a plastic bag underneath that in case, like, she overspilled anything.
Smart, yeah.
She would dig and pull the plastic bag through the cage and eat it.
Really?
Yeah.
What, right next to her food bowl probably, right?
I don't remember, I'm not sure, but I remember, like, my mom being like, what the hell is going on here? Like, why is she eating plastic?
Because I guess guinea pigs are the goats of the rodent world?
They're something.
Something.
Yeah. They're
loco.
Little tubes of weird.
They're tubes of weird.
That's ferrets.
Ferrets are tubes of weird.
Yeah.
They're slinkies.
They're very slinky.
They have, like, no spine.
I'm thankful my mother never let me get a ferret.
I'm pretty glad on, like, both counts for never having a parrot or ferret.
Agreed. I can't do birds. But yeah, so she ate plastic, and one day I was going into kindergarten, and I was ready to leave, and I went into her cage, I gave her some food, and I gave her a sweet little pet in the head, and I was like, oh my god, Mom, Coco's sleeping. How cute. And my mom was like, that's weird, she never sleeps. And so I gave her a kiss, and I was like, bye, Coco, I'll see you after school. And I, like, went off my little way to school. My mom came back, and she was like, huh, the guinea pig is still sleeping. Weird. So she goes in the cage, and she's like, Coco, Coco, dead.
Oh, God.
Coco was dead.
Pronounced dead on the scene.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, that's why. Okay. And then I remember I came home from school and my mom sat me down on the couch and she was like, okay, I have to tell you something. Coco died. And I was just like, what? When? And she was like, this morning. And I was like, no, she was sleeping this morning. She was like, uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then the realization slowly creeps over.
Yeah, I was like,
kindergarten Dana's.
I was like, oh shit. I kissed a dead guinea pig today. Tight. It was my first taste of necrophilia. Kind of into it.
And that leads us to our next segment, weird fetish. No. Was that your first experience with death?
Yes, if you don't count me talking to ghosts when I was a child.
You could count talking to ghosts as I guess what I mean is the act of dying.
No. Before that, no, I don't believe so. The first time I saw an injured person from like a car accident or anything like that, I think I was like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
But like before that, the scariest thing I saw was a clip of The Shining or something like that.
Which clip? The Here's Johnny clip?
No. I honestly don't know what movie it's from.
Okay.
So maybe whoever's listening could possibly tell me. But maybe it's Amityville Horror. I don't remember. It's where the kid, he's told not to go upstairs into the bathroom. And he goes upstairs into the bathroom anyway. And there's a woman in the bathtub. And she's a beautiful young woman. And then she turns into like this gross old woman.
That is The Shining.
And then he like gets possessed by her or something like that, and he's sitting on his mom's lap, and her terrifying like green face just like pops up, and that made me so scared of the bathroom for years.
Oh my God. Honestly, when you said The Shining, that is aside from the Here's Johnny part, it genuinely like scare factor, that is the scene that my mind went to.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a kid.
Yeah.
Like on what was the TV network that was always playing horror movies? Was it Spike? I think it was
Spike. Spike and TNT usually played scary movies.
Yeah, so I caught a glimpse of that. It was probably like really like early in the morning. But by early in the morning, I mean late at night, whatever you want to call it, 2 a.m, something like that. I was a kid. I was just like surfing through the channels. Saw that scene. Really fucked me up. It really fucked me up. I just remember it being so ominous, and just like before you even saw like her scary face, just seeing her like her figure behind the curtain, knowing like anticipating like just the way that they built the anticipation in that scene was so well done that as a kid I was like, this something real bad's about to go down.
Yeah.
But like I think other than that, if like thinking about things that really like scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
The number one thing that scared me as a kid was probably the girl from The Ring.
Ooh, yeah. I never saw The Ring. Also, and again, I don't remember what movie this is from, but there's this one scene where the like babysitter or something like that goes into a closet and there's this like ghost girl, and she takes the girl's finger and puts it in her head where the gunshot wound is. I think it's Amityville Horror. I think that one's Amityville Horror.
That sounds really familiar, but I cannot confirm nor deny whether or not it's Amityville Horror.
I think it is. I don't know. If you're listening to this, leave a comment and tell me what movie that's from if you know anything about horror movies. Because that really fucked me up.
Please inform me on what traumatized me as a child. I need to know the answers.
No, I really, the first funeral I went to, I was 8, I think, and it was someone I really didn't actually know.
Yeah.
It was my friend's grandfather, and like my mom was friends with his son-in-law and like all this stuff and like their family. So like I went, and literally it was the saddest thing for me. And I was a very, very sensitive child, like very emotionally sensitive, very energy sensitive.
Of course.
And I was crying the hardest out of everyone there.
Yeah.
Like, hysterically, like, oh my god, that's a dead body, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were you prepped for that situation?
My mom tried to prep me.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, there's gonna be a dead body, like, he's not alive anymore, it's just a body.
Mm-hmm.
And she even gave me the option of, like, you don't have to look at him, like, you don't have to go up, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up and looked at him, and I said a prayer, but when we went to the burial service is when I, like, really lost my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh my god, like, he's gonna be buried in the ground, like, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, just seeing everyone, like, I felt everyone mourning him, and it overwhelmed me so hard.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that I get very overwhelmed in a graveyard anyway.
Do you?
I do.
Really?
Graveyards are very hard for me to be in.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you're in graveyards?
Very anxious.
Okay.
And my back gets so tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the entire time I'm in a graveyard, my back is so tense.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, we have, I think, a Russian graveyard.
Interesting.
Around these parts. Yeah. Yeah. I went there once at, like, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
Super creepy. Yeah, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and they were like, hey, you want to go do something? And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do things. Got in the car, didn't ask questions, as is the Dominique way. And,
of course.
Yeah. Just kind of there's nothing really special about it other than it's all the plates. What do you call them? Tombstones? Headstones. Lost
the plates.
My brain dictionary there for a second. But they're all in Russian, obviously. But as far as being in graveyards and how they make me feel,
Mm-hmm.
spooky. Like, definitely, like, something spooky could happen at any given moment, especially if you're there at night. But if it was in the day, it doesn't freak me out.
Graveyards freak me out at all times.
I hold my breath when I pass graveyards still in the car, though.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that, like, old wives' tale where, if you're going past a graveyard, you have to hold your breath, or else if you breathe, then a spirit will just, like, find its way into your...
And possess you?
Yes.
No, I've never heard of that.
Well, it's the goddamn truth, and you better start holding your breath.
I probably will.
Lord only knows how many ghosties are all up in you.
I think there might be a ghost in my house.
I believe it.
Yesterday?
I have had very weird, like vibes from your house before.
Right? My house feels weird sometimes. And it's not, like, all the time. It's just, like, here and there. Like, some days there'll just be, like, a creepy vibe.
Yeah. What happened yesterday?
Yesterday, Ed and I came back from dinner.
Yeah.
And one of my flower pots, I have a window that faces the front of my house, and I have flower pots sitting on the windowsill.
Yeah.
And one of my little pots somehow got knocked off of my window, and the little disc was sitting on, like, the bottom windowsill, while the little pot was on the floor by my bed, and the plant was, like, on a blanket.
What?
It doesn't make sense, like, how it would have fallen.
So you're telling me that your plant was just, like, on a blanket, on your bed?
No, on the, I had this, like, white blanket at the foot of my bed.
Okay.
Not, like, on my bed, but on the floor.
Okay.
And, like, the pot was, like, on the ground next to the blanket, and the like, plant part was on top of the blanket.
Like, totally, like, there's no way that it would have just fallen like this.
Yeah, like,
it looks like someone placed it there.
Or it had to have been, like, swiped down at such an angle to where everything just, like... But, like, the placement of where the plate was, it makes no sense where the plate landed. And how it landed. It was so weird.
That sounds really weird.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one time I was in my room and I was just messing around on Snapchat. This was probably like back when we were still in high school. I think it was like sophomore year or something.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know what had happened to make me freaked out. But basically, I turned my camera around on Snapchat, so it was I was using the dog filter.
Yeah.
And I turned it around so it wasn't facing like it wasn't like front facing. It was like facing like my room, and from where I was sitting on my bed, it was just like facing a wall.
Yes.
And just out of nowhere, it just picked up a dog face.
Ooh, I hate that. That's so creepy.
And it was kind of just like off up into the right corner, and I was like, okay, there's probably something up and off into the right corner that kind of like vaguely resembles a face, and that's what it's picking up on.
Yeah.
I do it again a few minutes later, shit's right in front of my fucking face.
That's so gross.
Right? It was god awful.
I remember feeling like weird feelings in your room.
I've had another instance. You know, I have a bathroom in my room.
Yeah.
I have a shower with chat. It's just like a stand-up shower.
Yeah.
But it has a glass door that you obviously open as you do with doors. And
I hope you just walk right through it.
You just walk right through it. I mean, if you're a ghost, hey, anything's possible. But I was reaching out to, I think, like, grab, like, soap that I left on my sink. And I was holding the door, like, the door handle with one hand, reaching out with the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel a force, like, from the other side, pull open the door. Like, it was ripped from my fucking grasp. And it hit, like, because it's
Ew.
right in the corner of my small bathroom.
Yeah.
So if you open the door all the way, it hits the wall.
Yeah.
Which it did.
And your nailed shut window.
With my nailed shut window, nonetheless. Thanks, Dad. That's a story. That's... Alright, guys.
That's our Father's Day episode.
That's our Father's Day episode. Basically, my dad solved the problem of someone breaking into my room by nailing all my windows shut.
Because, you know, you don't need to climb out the window when there's a fire. Because you go through the door.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Where the fire is right outside.
Yeah. He knows that you're invincible, Dominique.
No,
he believes in you.
I could take a cut of glass or two to the face. I don't give no fucks. Oh, Dana.
Oh, Dominique.
Dana Renee.
Dominique Lee.
It has been a summer, has it not been?
It's been a summer.
Full season of that guy.
Yeah. Do you like summer?
Summer meant more to me when I was in school, and I didn't have to go to school for those 2.5 months.
Yeah.
But now, summer is just like any other day, but it's super fucking humid outside. I mean, I like summer. I like doing summer activities. You know, like going outside, enjoying the nice weather. But I work all the time. I don't really get to enjoy the nice weather as much as...
Being an adult means you don't get summer.
Yeah, and especially living where we do live, like...
Jersey Shore, baby.
Jersey Shore. But God, it's terrible in the summer. It's just summer is more of...
it has its moments.
Summer's like gets to be more of a hassle at some point. And more of like a hindrance on my life than I get to enjoy it now. Because, you know, like, instead of being part of the summer traffic, I have to...
sit in the summer traffic.
Combat the summer traffic, hope I get to work on time, which probably will not happen. But, alas, summer's good for what it is.
Yeah.
I like, you know, typical summer
activities.
Shit. Yeah, exactly.
The beach.
The beach is great.
The boardwalk for some ice cream and funnel cake.
Funnel cake. Yes, boardwalk food is some of the best food.
I love boardwalk food. A good old
American
my
cuisine.
favorite summer date is the boardwalk, Lucky Leo's Arcade at Seaside, and a good funnel cake or fried Oreos.
I grew up on Lucky Leo's.
Me too. I have a ton of Lucky Leo's points and tickets still.
Oh yeah, those little like cards that they would give you.
Yes. I've been saving up for years.
For years? What are you saving up for?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna go one day with all of my tickets and see what I can buy.
What are those marshmallow guns? One of those marshmallow blasters.
I made one of those once.
You made one?
Well, my mom helped me make it. She made one for me and my brother.
Really?
Yeah, she made it out of PVC pipe and like I I guess, PVC glue.
Yeah.
And we, like, spray painted them, and we just, like, put marshmallows in, and then we, like, shot them out.
Oh, you just blew into it?
Yeah.
Is that how you normally do it? Right?
I think so.
Okay, because I've seen them in action a couple of times, never actually had the chance to use one myself. Always been curious. Good to know.
Yeah, they were super fun.
Good
A
to know.
fun summer activity. Shooting marshmallows at each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably what they do in the clouds.
Oh my god, I can't wait to die.
I can't wait to
Bring
die.
it back to the cemetery talk. Did you have any, like, summer traditions when you were a kid?
When
like,
I was-
family traditions?
When I was a kid, I mean, we would go to the boardwalk a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. That would be, like, our main spot to go. I remember the boardwalk rides and getting the wristband for the unlimited rides. And, of course, trying to win the impossible concession stand games.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? But we never did anything like camping or, like, no, like, big, like, summer annual bash. It's kind of like every summer brought something different, but there was definitely no, like, template that we were going off of or anything.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, all I remember from my childhood really is my parents are divorced. I mentioned it in the last podcast. But the way that the custody worked when I was little was I would see my dad Wednesdays and every other weekend. And then when I got older, it turned into, like, every weekend.
Yeah.
But on Wednesdays, he would pick up me and my brother, and we'd go down to Seaside. We'd play at Lucky Leo's for a while, and then we'd go to Wendy's and get dinner.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was, like, the best.
What'd you get from Wendy's?
I would always get chicken nuggets and french fries.
You would get chicken nuggets, huh?
I would get chicken nuggets and french fries. I was never really a burger kid until I got a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was, like, in probably, like, 13 to 15, I was very into burgers and cheeseburgers.
Ooh.
And I'm still a burger girl, but since I'm a vegetarian, I'm a veggie burger girl. I just really love the whole, like, burger idea. It's so good.
It's one of those things that is so... Its beauty and elegance is in its
Agreed.
simplicity and reliability. Like, you get a burger, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yes.
You know you get bun, you get patty.
You get a little bit of ketchup and mustard. You get that one pickle.
Oh, I like 3. I like 3 on my burgers and a try. Freaking
I like a nice, like, mound of pickles. I'm a very big pickle person.
I love pickles.
Pickles are nice. I always keep a jar of bread and butter pickles in my fridge.
They're a good snack.
Great snack.
I like the
sweet gherkins.
I like the wedges, like the long wedges.
Oh, okay.
And I also like the slivers, like the little
I have
coins.
I have the little coins right now of the bread and butters, but I love, like, the little full sweet gherkins, and they're, like, this big. They're, like, itty bitty.
Are those the sweet ones, or are they more, like, acidic?
They're sweet and, like, a little bit acidic. But
as most pickles are, because, you know, pickles.
Vinegar.
Obviously. I like the more, like, sour pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think a burger tastes complete without the pickles.
No.
Like, if you have a burger flavored something, it's not officially burger flavored until there's some kind of pickler going on.
Pickle or, like, a mustard.
A mustard, yeah. You can't just have beef and ketchup, because that could be anything.
Yeah.
That could be meatloaf flavored.
That could be a cheesesteak.
Yeah! You're damn right.
Did you have a pool growing up?
I had in-ground and above-ground pool. I had a variety.
You?
I actually had
bougie
kitty blow-up pool.
Okay.
Not all in one place. Like, I didn't have, like, a blow-up pool in my in-ground pool. Like, I wasn't that cool.
Yeah. You weren't, like, pool on pool on pool.
Pool on pool on pool on pool. I wish. But no, I started off with, like, a blow-up kiddie pool. Me and my mom used to live on the water.
Okay.
So, like, you know how, like, water houses, like, they have decks that overlook the, like, so we would have, like, a tiny deck, minimal space, but most of the space was occupied by, like, this blow-up pool.
Yeah.
It was great. And from there, we moved a couple times, so we moved once, and once we moved into, like, a house that, like, we actually bought.
Yeah.
That's when I lived with my stepdad.
Okay.
It was like our house. We had, like, free reign to do what we wanted with it. So we built a fucking in-ground pool.
That's how you do it, baby.
That's how you do it. And I was so excited. And I just remember, like, all I wanted to do while we were building the in-ground pool was just, like, go in it while it was completely empty and just, like, slide down, like, the drop from shallow to deep end. I don't know, man. Do some kind of slip and slide stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then, like, when I went over to my dad's, he had, like, the above-ground pool, but it was, like, you know, like, the in-between between kiddie pool and in-ground pool where it's, like, it's a pool, it's an above-ground pool,
Yeah.
you still have to, like, put, like, pool stuff in it.
Yeah.
And keep it
Was it one of those, like, kind of bright blue pools
Yes.
where it's, like, you will take it down at the end of the summer?
It was exactly that.
Yeah, okay.
Like, taking it down at the end of the summer was, like, an activity.
Yeah.
I guess that was my summer tradition, taking down the pool at the end of the summer.
Good. I didn't have a pool. Well, I didn't have a pool until I think I was going into 6th grade, so I was, what, like 11? So I've had a pool since I was 11, so like 9 years. But when he lived in an apartment, he always had the season passes to, like, the community pool.
Yeah.
So I would always go there. Like, every weekend, I was at the pool.
Oh, that was nice. Was it a busy community pool?
No, not really. It would always be, like,
so
a couple people, and then, like, mainly just me, like, flopping around in the water, because I was a little mermaid.
My dad, he used to live in an apartment complex in Seaside.
Oh, okay.
And it had, like, a little, like, community pool that no one was around. And I remember it being, like, the hugest, most monstrous pool when I was a kid. And I think I went back there, like, maybe, like, a year ago or so, and I checked out the pool, and it's probably, like...
So small.
It's so small. I don't know measurements.
You were also super small.
I was so small. That was back when I was still using
Swimmies?
swimmies.
Oh, cute.
I love swimmies. Those hurt my armpits after a while, though.
Oh, yeah. Definite chafing.
And the life vests. You ever have a life vest, like, really, like, chafe your armpits?
Yeah. When I was younger, I was a super big tomboy.
Mm-hmm.
I for a while, like, just regular bikinis. So I wanted to wear boys' board shorts.
Yeah.
But the netting would give me such bad rashes.
Oh my god.
And so I'd be wearing, like, my bikini bottoms and the bathing suit, and I would just get, like, the worst thigh chafing.
Oof.
With the salt water was so bad.
Oof.
And we would go to the Outer Banks, North Carolina. We went for a couple years with, like, my aunts and my cousins and all that stuff. It was, like, a huge family outing. And I remember being at the beach and, like, not, like, barely being able to walk because my thighs were chafing so bad because I was, not boogie board, I was skimboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those, like, tiny little wooden surfboards that you go on.
Yeah.
And I kept falling and getting sand and salt water up my shorts.
Oh.
So it was rubbing with the mesh and just, like, messing up my thighs.
Your
and
poor little thighs.
It was so bad. I think when we got back, I had to put, like, calamine lotion on my legs, and, like, it was so bad. I had, like, a huge rash. It was terrible.
Was that the end of your boy short era?
Yeah, I think so. I think I only wore boy shorts for, like, 1 or 2 summers. I don't think I ever went to the beach again with them on. But I definitely, like, went in the pool and stuff like that.
Pool, you don't got sand?
Yeah.
You don't have sand as a factor that you need to consider, so...
My mom made me swim in a t-shirt when I was younger because she didn't want me to get, like, burnt to a crisp with the sun.
What, in a pool?
Yeah.
I feel like that's dangerous.
Well...
Depending on the size of the t-shirt.
It was mainly because... sorry, Dad, to throw you under the bus. You're not listening to this, but... he wouldn't, like, sunscreen me super well, so when we went on vacations and stuff, I would come back and I would be, like, purple.
Oh my god.
Like, I would be so sunburned. And...
Bob.
Yeah. And so my mom was like, no, that's it. Every time you're going swimming at his house, you are wearing a t-shirt.
Oh my god.
And so I would have to wear, like, this big white t-shirt and, like, board shorts. Yeah, I would have to be, like, super covered up.
See, like, with a big white t-shirt, I'd imagine that it would get just, like,
well,
so
not, like,
drenched.
big, but, like, a little bit bigger than what I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember once I wore really, like, flowy pants into, the pool.
Yeah.
Just because, basically they were so flowy to the point where I could fit 2 legs into 1 pant leg, and I had a pair of flippers, so ya bitch was trying to be a mermaid.
Oh, of course.
So I went in, and it was fine. I just got to the point where the one excess, like, fabric that was hanging off, you know,
yes.
the, like, I wasn't using, became so soaked with water that it just, like, it weighed me down.
Oh,
and we
no.
just like it was like caught like when I was like underwater. It just like it was just really messing up with like my mobility.
Yeah.
But drowned.
Thank
I
God
could
you
have
didn't.
damn drowned, but I didn't.
But you didn't.
'Cause I'm
Was a
mermaid,
lifeguard on duty?
And mermaids don't drown. What?
Was a lifeguard on duty?
It was just me. This was when I had my own in-ground pool at the house with my stepdad. So I was just like left unattended. Probably
probably shouldn't have
not
been.
to throw anyone under the bus or anything,
but like, Dad, step it up next time.
Could have died there, but it's fine. I'm alive to tell the tale on the internet, as all heroes end up
doing at some point.
Yeah, it's a success story.
It is a success
story. I know you're all crying at home. Tears of.
You're just climbing. You're climbing the success ladder.
Yes. As
Ariana Grande says, I'm so successful.
Does she say that?
Yeah, she has a new song called Successful, and she literally just goes, I'm so successful.
Is that the entire song?
Basically. It's kind of iconic, but also, like, Ariana Grande, what have you done?
Ariana Grande. You know, she's not wrong.
She's not, and she's literally, like, the lyrics are like, I'm so young, I'm so rich, I'm so successful. Like, it's like a humble brag.
Humble, huh? That's the adjective we're going with. If I were to assign an adjective to Ariana Grande, I think humble would be at the top of the list.
Okay. Mine would be talented. That girl, apparently, Ed and I were talking about this the other day. Apparently she has, like, 10 vocal ranges.
Yeah.
Where, like, or I don't even know who I was talking to this about, actually. Apparently she has, like, 10 vocal ranges, and, like, a pretty good singer, or, like, a really good singer only has, like, 3, but she has 10. Like, she can hit, like, everything.
Girl has fucking vocal cords on her.
Girl has fucking vocal cords. Excuse the cricket. You're rude.
The cricket's just trying to show off because it doesn't have 10 vocal ranges like Ariana Grande does.
He's like, hey, listen to my 1 vocal range.
No one wants to hear your sad tune, Mr. Frickin' Jiminy Cricket.
No one wants to hear you trying to get fucked, okay, brother?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's their mating call?
Yeah, that's why. That's usually why bugs like chirp like that, is because they're trying to mate. That's why lightning bugs flash, because they're trying to get fucked.
Oh yeah, I know that. I learned that from that Disney Channel show with Stanley. He could talk to animals or something, or he could make animals come out of his book.
I think I know what you're talking about.
He's bald.
Flat Stanley?
No, it was not Flat Stanley.
One time I did a Flat Stanley and sent it to my god uncle, who we no longer talk to, and I never got it back, and I failed. I failed that because he never sent it back.
Wait, what was the assignment?
It was, I created a Flat Stanley, and then we were supposed to send it to, like, a relative, and they were supposed to, like, take it on a journey and, like, send us back a letter and pictures and stuff like that, and he never did it, and I never got it back.
And that is why he is now your estranged. God.
Basically, literally after we sent that to him, we, like, never heard from him again.
Wonder where he took Flat Stanley.
I don't know.
Crossed the border?
Uncle Dave, if you're listening to this, I wonder about you.
I wonder about you.
He lived on a boathouse.
Really?
Yeah.
He was that uncle.
He lived in Florida. He lived on a boathouse. He was, like, bachelor. Yeah.
I know. My dad had a friend who lived on a boathouse. And I remember, like, being out at sea watching Johnny Bravo in his house compartment under his boat. Like, it was so cool.
Yeah. Just
watching Johnny Bravo on a boat, slightly swaying back and forth. It's a fun memory. It's a good one.
Yeah, my first memory of being on a boat, is my dad had a rowboat when I was younger. He had a rowboat. He took me out once on the lake, and I was freaking out the whole time, and I was just like, oh my god, like, this boat's gonna tip over. I've seen Titanic, like, I'm not about this. And his solution was grabbing each side of the boat and then rocking it back and forth and going, you're not gonna fall out.
The song literally goes, don't rock the boat, baby.
Yeah, well, baby, he rocked the boat.
Did he tip the boat over?
No, he didn't tip the boat over. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But, like, he was, like, messing with the boat, and I was like, get me off the boat, get me off the boat, I need to get off the boat. And, like, Yeah, I literally made him, like, get back to shore because I was like, not happening. Like, I'm not going on this boat. And then the second time I was on a boat, it was on a cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, after the divorce, she, like, it was her last hurrah. And so she took me and my brother on a Disney cruise.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And it was a lovely Disney cruise. The first
bet.
night, I had a violent migraine. And I have chronic migraines, and I've had chronic migraines basically my whole life. But I was super seasick, and I think that's what triggered my migraine.
Probably.
And so I remember being super seasick, my mom having to get, like, those seasick bracelets.
Yeah.
They're, like, sweatbands that have, like, little pressure point things on them.
Yeah.
And they stop you from getting seasick.
Do they work?
Oh, yeah. They work really well. And I also remember room service coming in and out of our room because everyone was freaking out that I was so sick. And, like, my mom wasn't used to dealing with my migraines yet, so she was freaking out. She was like, I don't know what to do, like, and she was like, I'm just trying to have a good cruise, but, like, my daughter's, like, dying, like, I don't know what to do. She's vomiting, she's throwing up, like.
How long were you like that for?
Probably, like, I think it was, like, the first day, and then, like, the next day I woke up and I was, like, alright, but I still didn't feel good. But for the whole cruise, I had to wear those seasick bracelets.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah, and then have you ever been on a cruise?
I've actually never been on a cruise.
Okay. Well, they do, like, in the beginning, they do these, safety, like, procedures.
Like demonstrations and stuff.
So they do, like, a mock fire drill and, like, a mock evacuation thing, and I didn't know what was happening, and my mom was like, put on your life jacket, and I was like, we're sinking! Like, this is the Titanic! I told you this was gonna happen!
Oh my god.
And it was ridiculous. But, yeah, that was my second experience on a boat. It wasn't terrible. We did it when Hurricane Katrina had hit the Bahamas, so we had to go to a completely different island.
What island did you go to?
I have no idea. I could not tell you for the life of me.
Oh my god.
But it was garbage from what I remember. Like, it wasn't anywhere as cool as what we were supposed to get. It was, like, literally, like, a warehouse mall type thing.
A warehouse mall on
Yeah,
an island?
It had, like, this weird, like, shopping area type thing, and it literally, from what I remember, it looked like it was in a warehouse.
That's so
and just had, like,
weird.
little, like, kiosk things set up.
This isn't the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, I bought a necklace that was made out of a seashell, though. It was a butterfly.
No way.
It was a
Do
pink.
You still have it?
No, it was a pink and white seashell.
Ooh.
On, like, a black thread.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was a cute little butterfly.
Huh.
Yeah, one of my fondest memories of that time.
Did you see Mickey? Better have seen Mickey on some fucking Disney cruise.
Yeah, I just saw Mickey, I saw Minnie, I saw Goofy, I saw Donald.
You saw all them.
I saw all of them.
all the gang.
There are even Disney princesses there, too.
Oh, wow. Who's your favorite Disney princess?
My all-time favorite Disney princess is Belle.
Belle?
100%, hands down.
Why is that? Her movie, herself as her...
She's always been, like, one of my icons.
Yeah.
When I was in second grade, I was Belle for Halloween, and I almost fought another girl who was Belle because she had a better dress than I did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's something we can talk about when it gets closer. When it gets closer to Halloween, we can talk about all of our old Halloween costumes and stuff like that, and the dramas that lay beneath that.
I've always been an Ariel fan myself.
Really?
She was always my favorite. On the topic of mermaids, there is a reason why I tried to drown myself as a kid. It was because of my love of mermaids. Don't get me wrong. Ariel has always been an inspiration to me. Just, her. I think, like, I myself enjoy singing.
Yes.
That's not to say I'm good at singing. I enjoy the singing. So having that being her thing, basically.
Yes.
It was one of those things that, like, got me as a kid. And also mermaids. Mermaids have always kind of just, like, intrigued me. They've always 100%. Been that. Fairies and mermaids have always been that, like, mystical, like, creature that I've always been like, ooh, if I could have any mystical creature friend, or if I could transform myself into any mystical creature, it'd probably be that.
Yeah, I feel that about pixies, but also, do you remember the movie The 13th Year?
That was my favorite Disney Channel original movie.
Really?
because of the context.
Yeah. I, had a love-hate relationship with that movie.
Okay, for those of you who do not know what we're talking about, The 13th Year is a Disney Channel original movie. It probably came out in, the 90s or something. And it's about this guy who's on the swim team. And he's not just it's not just about a guy who's on the swim team. It's about a guy who was born from a mermaid, which I don't even know how that anatomically works, but
he was
whatever.
adopted by a beautiful family who his father is Uncle what's his face from Full House. Uncle Joey from Full House.
Oh yeah.
Dave Coulier.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
His father's Dave Coulier.
Always a good face.
Icon
to
movie.
See in a movie. And basically, when the kid turns 13 after being given up by his mermaid mother, he turns 13 and he starts going through changes. But instead of a deeper voice, he gets scales on his legs.
And webs on his hands.
He turns into a mermaid. Basically, it's great.
Do you remember H2O?
The H2O Just Add Water, the Australian show?
Yes.
I remember before they even had that on Nickelodeon, before they even brought that over to United States.
Before the reboot.
Before all that shit, I remember finding that series on YouTube.
Really?
Because this was back when YouTube was cool and you could find whole TV shows, like one episode over the span of 3 individual YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So they had all of the H2O Just Add Water episodes up on YouTube, and I just binged. Oh, that's my dream. That was my fantasy as a kid.
100%.
I would look up on Google on WikiHow how to become a mermaid.
Oh my god. You take this pill and then you drink detergent.
Let me tell you, it worked. Don't drink detergent, guys.
I was gonna say, don't touch water now. You're gonna grow a tail. Do you have any other summer memories that you'd like to talk about before we call this to a close?
No, memories are fleeting.
No. Do you have any summer memories that you would like to make before the summer's over?
Before the summer's over, no.
No?
I got nothing.
No, you feel very fulfilled with your summer?
I feel like I got some sleep I need to catch up on. I had a good summer. I can't lie. I had a really good summer. I met new people. I did different things, and that's what I love doing. I love experiencing new things. I love learning new things, and I definitely got to do a good portion of that this summer. So I'm really happy I got to do that. So yeah. What about you?
I think I definitely want to go see. I want to do an outdoor exploration just one more time.
Yeah.
There are some flower gardens that I'm interested in going to, maybe on a date night with Ed or something like that, or a day date with Ed. But I definitely want to do something more outdoorsy before the summer ends. But besides that, I feel very fulfilled with how the summer's gone, and I'm looking forward to what fall is going to bring me.
Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Thank
you really
you.
are great.
And I really appreciate you for sitting through this, however long it turns out to be. Currently, we're at 1 hour and 9 minutes.
That's a new record.
So this is currently, as we're recording, obviously uncut. But when you're listening to this, it's going to be cut up and all of the awkward silences are going to be gone. But again, thank you so much for listening and sitting through the second episode of this journey. And thank you for listening to us figure it out for a little bit.
Thank you, guys. Join us next week so we can figure it out some more.
Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DanaRenee_. That's at DANARENEE_ on Instagram and Twitter.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's both the same name, Dommy Darko. That is DOMMY_DARK and the number 0. So look forward to interacting with y'all.
And don't forget to subscribe to us on SoundCloud and share with your uncle, your aunt, your grandfather, or
your estranged godfather uncle.
Or even that neighbor down the street that you're kind of curious about, and this could be a cool way to break the ice.
Let us know how it goes.
I hope you talk to Paul.
I hope you talk to Paul too. Ask him how he keeps his lawn so green.
And let him know that we miss him.
Miss you, Paul.